What if I told you that you are trying to do too much and it is having a negative impact on your life? In this society, productivity and success are at the forefront of our habits, but it is tending to have the opposite effect. More people trying to do too much is equaling more depression, more comparison, and a greater loss of self-worth. In this video, we're going to be exploring 3 consequences of trying to do too much, and I'm also going to give you my personal 3 tips on how to address each of these consequences to make sure that you get the most productivity out of each day. You know the drill. Smash that subscribe button for more motivational content at your fingertips. Let's go. It is important to start off with this point. Trying to do too much is going to lead to overstimulation, and overstimulation is a trap that you do not want to fall into because it's very hard to revert back to your old self.
That's what she said.
We try and do as much as we possibly can throughout each day. Our to-do list is this long and we don't know how we're going to get to everything, and what ends up happening is that you end up working on something for like half an hour. Then you get distracted by something else, you start working on that, then you start working on something else, and in the meantime you're not doing one of those tasks properly. This is why I'm so against multitasking, which we'll talk about in the second point in today's video. But the point is, you have too much on your fork, you have too much on your plate, and you don't know how to finish it all. This is where time management comes in. This is where prioritization comes in. I've always told you guys that have a maximum of 5 things on your to-do list. Rank from highest priority to lowest priority, and that's that. More than 5, you become overstimulated. This is going to depend from person to person because some people can handle more workload than others. But I've generally found that if I put more than 5 things on my to-do list, I end up almost not getting to everything. I end up neglecting certain things. I end up prioritizing things that are actually not that important over things that really are important. So make sure that you have a maximum of 5 things on your daily to-do list. Otherwise, this will lead to overstimulation and you will end up feeling more confused than you started off with. One of the most common productivity hacks that I see on YouTube, on Instagram, on the internet in general is advocating multitasking. Now listen, if you have good time management skills and if you have a large capacity to do work and to focus, then by all means try it out. But for most people, multitasking does not work, and the main reason it doesn't work is because instead of putting 100% into something, you end up putting 30% into that, 20% into this, 20% into that. You end up basically half-assing everything that you're doing because you want to do as much as possible. I think we need to eliminate this way of thinking. I think we need to reevaluate how we define productivity, because just think about it. Is it better to get 2 things done and you know you've put 100% into each of those things, or is it better for you to know that you try to do 5 things at once and you only put 50% effort into them? And me personally would always choose the first option. If I do 2 or 3 things and I put 100% into those things, I would feel much better productivity wise than if I try to do 6 things at once and end up just putting 20 to 30% of my effort into each one. This is the misconception that a lot of people do not understand. They think that because I have more on my to-do list, because I try to do all of these things, that I was productive. No, not necessarily. You weren't productive because you ended up half-assing everything. And if you half-ass everything, that is not going to assist you in achieving your goals. That is not going to assist you in improving as a person overall. So this is why I say, do not put too much on your plate. And this is the solution. Reduce the volume, increase the intensity. Yes, I know I'm bringing training principles into this, but I thought it was applicable. But the consequence of doing too much or trying to do too much is that you end up only putting half of your effort, a quarter of your effort into everything, which is not going to help you in the long run. Before we go our separate ways, I'd like to remind you that burnout is a real thing. You putting too much on your plate is going to lead to burnout, because you're going to end up trying to do 100 things while you're mentally tired, while you're physically tired, which is going to impact negatively on your efforts going forward. Instead of running into this trap of burnout, rather take the approach of putting 100% into 2 or 3 things for the day and then calling it a productive day. Because at the end of the day, it's better to know that you've put 100% into 2 or 3 tasks than putting 25% into 6 or 7 tasks. It's just the way the world works, and this is just a simple example that I'm using. But personally, for me, I feel much more accomplished if I know I put in all my effort into these 2 or 3 things for the day, and that is a W. Take that W home, go to sleep with it, and tomorrow we wake up fresher than ever. So make sure you do not step into the trap of potential burnout by having good time management skills, by journaling, and by doing self-reflection on your productivity efforts for the day. If you found value in this video, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe, smash the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.